What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining the Travel Tales and Talk podcast with Derek and Makayla. I'm Derek.
I'm Makayla.
Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. And we're back for another episode of Travel Tales and Talks. Hey, babe, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. You look good over there.
Oh.
I love it when you wear pink shirts. I'm sorry. Well, let's talk about our most recent adventure. Another trip. Well, my first trip to Hawaii. I was going to say another trip, but it's my first trip to Hawaii. And why are we going to Hawaii again?
Graduation this time.
Whose graduation?
A really dear friend of mine from high school. Her baby graduated. My nephew.
Man, time flies.
Yes.
I remember the first time I met him. I'm like, wow, he's graduating already?
Oh, yeah.
It just blew my mind. Like, I thought he was like 15. He's a grown man going to college now.
Yes.
That
yes,
is
he is.
crazy. That's how time flies. But we had a great time in Hawaii. We have a fantastic time trying to get there. we ran into some pricing challenges when we first started looking for the tickets. But not when we first started looking for the tickets, they were reasonable. They were like $400 to $600 round trip, and it was three of us. So that's doable, right?
Yeah, because normally a flight, we're located in Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
and it's normally around about $600 or less, between $400 and $600 round trip from Kentucky to Honolulu. That's where we,
And then sometimes you can get lucky and kind of find one around $300, $293, $299. But when we started looking in September of 25, October of 25, they were around $400 to $600 round trip, which once again is reasonable.
Yeah, that's typical. And they kind of hovered there for a while, and we did not buy the tickets because we figured, that's typical.
Yeah.
They're going to be that rate when we
Yeah.
get ready to purchase in February.
We were not, what's the people you call it, looking to the future? We were not those type of people. We just assumed that, hey, these prices are static. They always stay there. Don't need to go ahead and buy them now. We might get lucky and get them
lower.
at $250. Never know.
Because that has happened.
That has happened.
Yeah, we don't want to buy our tickets too far in advance.
Mm-hmm. But we were told some of her siblings bought their tickets the day they found out. Like, he told them in September, they went in and bought the tickets right then. I'm like, I didn't know you could buy the tickets that far in advance.
Yeah.
So that's almost a year out. I'm like, next time we know. When
Yeah,
we see it, just jump on it.
Because we weren't expecting to be in a conflict.
Because we got bit in the butt with the war in Iraq.
Yes, we did. Iran.
I'm sorry.
Iran,
Different
yes.
war, Iran.
Yeah.
So with the war in Iran, prices doubled, quadrupled, like overnight. So we go from a low end of $400 a ticket. The high end was $600 a ticket. We go from $400 to about $1,200 per person on the low end. And on the high end, we go to about $1,500 per person. This is round trip.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. And I was telling Makayla, I was like, ooh, baby, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it. I can't $1,500 a person.
And that was not an option because baby boy told me to my face in September, Auntie Makayla, I graduate this year. You coming, right? I need you to come to my graduation. So he looks me in my face and tells me that. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I can't be, made out to be a liar. Oh, no, I told him in September I'm going to be there. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get to this graduation. And now, I mean, these prices are like crazy expensive. And when Derek and I travel, we have 5 cities that we look at because where we're located at, there's no major airport, so the prices are always high there. But we're willing to drive,
to Cincinnati,
Nashville, Louisville, Atlanta, or Chicago. Those are our 5, and we compare prices with those 5 cities. And y'all, The tickets were all of them were over $1,000.
Easy.
Easy. And so
And that's without the fees and the taxes. That's just starting point. And then when the fees and taxes hit it, ooh.
yeah, and it was looking pretty bad because I couldn't just show up to the graduation and I didn't bring London Rose.
That was the plan. Like, ooh.
Yeah, we were considering it, but
Some of us might have to stay behind.
nephew would have been upset because that is his little homie, and he would put him like, "Why are you here and you didn't bring her?"
He's like, where London Rose at?
Right, and so what? Just jokingly, I said, Derek, we should fly out of Toronto because Canada ain't at a war. Ha ha ha! I was just joking.
Yeah.
And Derek looks and is like,
Why
that's
not?
a good idea. Let me
do
check
it.
the flights. And Derek, you want to tell him?
Yeah, I just punched in, Toronto to Honolulu, and to our surprise, both of us, we got two options. We had the Delta option and Air Canada option. And they were like $430 some for Delta, and then Air Canada was like $464 per person round trip. So we went with the Delta option so we can get our Delta miles. And then all three of us round trip was pretty much $15.92 for all three of us after taxes and all their fees they add, which was amazing. One ticket out of Atlanta would have been $1,500.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, this is kind of worth it. Let's see how we're gonna make this happen. And I know a lot of people are going like, you guys drove to Canada? Like,
Yes, we did.
this is what you have to take into account when we drive from Lexington to Canada. It's an 8.5 hour drive
From our front door.
from our front door. And it's a 6 hour drive from our front door to our hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Let that sink in. I'm going to drive 6 hours to Tennessee, still be in the States, or I can drive an additional 2.5 hours, be in Toronto.
Yeah, and to be honest, just to get to the Canadian border was only 5 hours.
Yeah, it's only 5 hours.
Yes. So
Five
we're
and some
closer
change.
to Canada
Canada.
than we are to Memphis,
Memphis,
Tennessee.
Tennessee, which is crazy. Which is crazy. So if we lived in Cincinnati, we'll be even closer.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have to drive through Cincinnati to get.
It baffles
get
my
there.
mind every time I think about that. We could go to another country in less time than it takes to get to our hometown almost.
Yep, to go see mama.
Yeah, to go see mom and dad and aunties and cousins.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do some math on that. We're talking about after taxes, total cost of each one of our tickets was $530.55. And that's flying out of Canada. But on the low end, if we were to fly out of the States, I think the lowest price was was it Louisville or Nashville?
It was at a
Cincinnati?
Well, Louisville and Nashville about the same rate.
So $1,200, right?
Yeah.
So 1,200 times 3 is $3,600. By going to Canada, man, we saved $2,000, even with gas and
The
hotel and food. We still save probably $1,600. And then if we would have flew out of Atlanta, we're talking about $1,500 a person. That's $4,500. So we saved almost $3,000, $2,908 by flying out of Canada. That is insane. Even with gas, food, and a hotel. And of course, I don't pay for hotels. I use my points. I mean, the hotel we stayed in was $211. That's Canadian dollars. $211 Canadian dollars. That's 151 USD. And then we drove up there, so we had off-site parking from the airport at the airport. We paid $42 for 5-6 days total. Like, it was no brainer. Now, if you live in New Orleans, and
That wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work. You know what I mean? But because of where we were located,
Yeah.
this worked out for us.
Yeah, I say if you live anywhere near the Canadian border and you can drive to get your cheap flights, I highly recommend you doing that.
Yeah, at least look into it. Like if you lived in Minneapolis or Detroit and you want to fly somewhere,
Yes.
I would check. Like, hey, Toronto's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Detroit. And my flight to, I don't know, let's say Madrid is $250, but if I fly out of Detroit is 1,800. Man, I drive to
Yeah,
Toronto
drive
without
to
thinking.
Toronto. Yes.
Without thinking. Without wasting a beat. And then when we talked about it the other day, I got gas one time before we got into Canada. That was one tank. Drove from Detroit to Toronto on that one tank. And then when we got back, filled up again in Toronto. We didn't have to get gas again until I think we got to Cincinnati. So once again, it was a no-brainer. No-brainer. And that's an easy drive. It's a straight shot. You stay on 75 North and you just keep going. Like, and you drive right into downtown Toronto. It's not like you do a lot of changing of interstates, east, north, west. You just keep straight.
Yeah, and it's not a bad drive. You know how some drives on the highway is really boring? There's a lot to see, especially when you see the windmills. And I don't know if you're really into that kind of stuff. It's so beautiful to me.
Yeah. And then when you cross the border, is it Windsor? Windsor, Canada. It's a cool little town. We need to explore Windsor.
Yeah,
I think we're missing out.
it's really beautiful.
Cool little town. We might even buy a house there. We were talking about it when we were driving through the neighborhood. We might need to relocate to Windsor. So let's actually talk about the flight itself. So once again, we're flying out of Toronto. We have 2 layovers. One is in Atlanta. The other one is in LA.
Go figure, right?
Yeah. So we had to come back to the States.
I know. And that flying that Delta. The first thing I noticed right off the bat, we were on one of those big planes from, Canada, going into the United States. And we all know the things that have been going on in the U.S. that has been affecting travel. People, it is real. That flight
was pretty empty.
it was really empty. It was flying probably at half capacity, if not less. And when the flight attendant came over and says, "Hey, would you guys like to get your own rows?" Like London Rose looked at us like, "Is
jumped
this
right on
real?"
It's like, yeah, I'll take my own row.
And she jumped on up, got her a row and laid out. And I nudged Derek. I said, "You know why? My guess, like, look how empty this flight is to come into the United States. Like, these people they don't want to come."
It was very empty.
It was empty.
It was super empty.
And that, after we landed in Atlanta, it was packed from that point on because Lana Rose thought she would be able to get in. I said, "No, baby."
That was a one-time thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen again, and it didn't. And one thing about Atlanta, so when we travel, I always ask Derek, find a flight, look at where the connections are, and then try to book the flight from the connection because Atlanta is one of our 5 cities. And I was like, wait a minute, if we got a layover in Atlanta, can't we just buy this ticket and then just hop on the flight from the Atlanta connection?
You sure can. It's going to cost you $1,500.
Yep. They were like, nope, if you do not travel that route in its entirety, at any point that you break, you lose the rest of your flight. So had we not gotten on that flight in Toronto and just try to show up in Atlanta, there'll be absolutely not. And they would have had us buy a whole ticket from there.
Yep.
Crazy, right?
It'll cost you $1,500.
Which is bananas because our $430 ticket, the person getting on in Atlanta
Is paid $1,500.
paid $1,500, and we're going to the same place.
Same place on the same plane.
Same plane. Yeah.
That is nuts to me. And then for it to be $1,500 compared to $440 whatever and $530 after taxes, like that is a ripoff. Like we in the same plane.
We're in the same plane.
How is this ticket $1,500 and this ticket is $500? Simply because of where it came from? It's ridiculous. A seat should cost what a seat costs.
And for us to pick up the people,
Yeah.
the passengers in Atlanta,
Yeah.
because the same number, when we checked the flight, it was the
Same
same
number.
number. I was like, that's
Same
the
flight.
same plane.
Same flight. And then the people that we picked up in Atlanta, of course, they go to LA and they get on the plane with us to go to Honolulu. I'm thinking like, these people have no idea. They probably have zero idea that we got this for $1,000 cheaper than what they got.
Mm-hmm.
That is maddening to me. I mean, it probably happens all the time, but you never really think about it because you're buying your flights in the States. You're like, the person who came up from Mexico probably paid $300 to go to the same destination.
Same destination.
It's crazy. And well, the flight in Atlanta almost caused us to miss our entire trip because that flight was kind of delayed. And we got to LA and we had to book it to the next flight.
Yes.
They were about to leave us.
They were. They were. And if you know anything about LA airport, in my opinion, its design is like a puzzle piece. We had to
I didn't see none of it.
run around the corner, down the escalators, up some more. I'm like,
Mhm.
where are we going? There's no streamline. Nope.
And I was kind of ticked off because I wanted to explore the airport because I'd never been to LAX. And with the flight being delayed or behind, we had to run to our next gate, jump on the plane, and get out of there. Because I really wanted to tour the airport.
Yeah. It felt like the scene, if you ever watch Home Alone, when the family is running through the airport. That's
Kevin.
literally how it felt.
Kevin.
It was, and that's when I realized your girl is out of shape. Because
No, this is when I thought about this too. You told London Rose, just go, London Rose, get the plane. I'm like, what if she get on the plane? Is she gonna take her without us? They're not gonna hold the plane because.
I figured my child would get there and she'll cause a scene at the gate and make them hold the plane for her parents.
Man, London Rose gonna get on that plane. Can I get a ginger ale and some cookies? She gonna forget about us. I was like,
but it just so happened we weren't the only ones running for that plane. There was more people on that Atlanta flight with us that were trying to make that same connection. So they came through, kind of held it up a little bit. Because I asked our flight attendant on the Atlanta flight, like, hey, could you please, call over to that other flight and let them know we're running late? No, I'm sorry. We're not able to do that. I'm looking like, what?
that upset me.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to say, hey, we just landed. Can y'all hold up
it.
for 20 minutes?
Yeah. But we found out that, my friend, her sister was on that flight with us, that LA flight. She had to run to her flight as well. And she told us that they did make an announcement that they were holding the plane for the Atlanta people. So I was like,
we must have had a disgruntled stewardess.
Yeah, we must have had someone that was mad.
Having a bad day.
at her job that day and was like, get away from me. But she did confirm. I was like, wow, thank you. Whoever called that in and did it for us, because she said she had to run to that plane too. So maybe it was her plane. Yeah. And then some of our Atlanta people got there quickly and let them know. Because we did tell each other, if we get there first, tell them not to hold the plane.
It's crazy. I feel like maybe we can have a talk with the airlines. If I have a connecting flight and my connecting flight is delayed and it slows me down to get to my flight, like, you should hold the plane, especially if I'm on the ground. Just hold it. I can see if I was still in the air and you had to go, I get it. But we were at the gate. Didn't he say they had to pull it back out and pull it back in?
Yes.
There was some type of mechanical thing with the pusher or whatever they call the thing. I'm like, they should just say, hey, hold the plane until we get it unboarded and let those guys board.
But before you guys are like, man, y'all are being selfish. It's not about y'all. No, it's not even that. The LAX flight was 15 minutes early. They were leaving 15 minutes early. And I'm like, yo. Yeah.
Forgot about that part.
Yeah, they were going to pull out early.
Yeah.
Because, you get the updates in your app. And I mean, we're sitting there watching it. great news. We're leaving.
ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we're ahead of schedule.
No.
15 minutes. I'm like, no.
No.
While we're sitting on the Atlanta plane, watching this happen in real time, it was quite an adventure. I will say this.
Because if we miss that plane, I don't think we get to Hawaii until the next day.
Yeah, which would have
and
caused
then-
us to miss the graduation because the graduation was the next day.
Yeah. It would have threw a gigantic monkey wrench into everything we wanted to do.
Because we had trips, reservations, and things that we'll talk about.
You had all your plans detailed out by the second.
By the minute. Y'all know how I do. By the minute.
Oh man! So we finally get to Hawaii. Then on our way back, we have multiple layovers again. Minneapolis is the first one. Then Detroit is the second one before we get back to Toronto. So we had a lot of layovers with this flight, coming and going.
Yes.
So which made the flight pretty long. So the first leg of the flight was 19 hours total. I think the return home was 15, which really felt longer than 15.
Yeah. I think if hindsight, I think we should have taken that Air Canada flight. Just paid the additional money and went Air Canada, so we were able to stay in Canada throughout our entire flight.
Not only that, we wanted those Delta points.
We did, and it ended up being like
Not worth it. Not worth it.
it was not worth it. Because I remember looking at my update, I was like, 500 points? That's it?
Because they changed the way they give you points now. It's based on the cost of the ticket, not the miles. I'm like, well, they're not Sky Miles. They're just price of ticket miles.
Yeah. So
That's
I was not
nuts.
happy about that.
No.
Because I would have liked to have just stayed in Canada, hit those Canadian airports. Plus, the Canadian flight was a little bit faster as well.
Yeah, it was a 12-hour flight. One stop in
Vancouver.
And what was it, an hour and 30-minute layover in Vancouver, then down to Hawaii. So
It would have been, I think, a more comfortable experience.
yeah, and then we could have got a glimpse of Vancouver.
And you know what I think about? Because that would have been Canada going to the United States. I wonder how those flights would have been looking.
What do you mean flight?
Would have been empty. Even though it's
Depends.
still the United States and people were...
Well, going to Hawaii probably would have been, because you probably had people come up from Seattle to Vancouver.
I didn't think about that.
Because I'm sure they've done that. I would think flights are probably more expensive in Seattle than they are in
Vancouver.
Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just speculating. We can, check that out later. But for us, it was cheaper, so I don't see why it wouldn't be cheaper for them. But we could have got a glimpse of Vancouver. I think the layover was probably maybe 3 hours. We could have hung out, checked out the airport, maybe got a glimpse of the cityscape of Vancouver and say, "Ooh, I've been to Vancouver before."
That does not count.
That
If you
does
don't
not
leave
count.
the airport, it does not
Does not
count.
But on the way back, did we get the stamp and the
We
passport on the way
did.
back?
Because we did. Now that quite a few airports are doing it digitally. They have the
Not just
automated
airports.
e-gate.
Their countries are just not stamping.
Well, the
anymore.
countries.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I meant the countries. Like the United States, Canada, the
Mm-hmm.
EU. They are all automated e-gates. And so they don't do the physical stamps anymore.
Mm-hmm.
However, we got to get our physical stamp because we had to go ask for it. So if you really want that stamp, you can go to the customs counter, one that's staffed, an actual person there, or an immigration officer, and they should be able to help you if they still have the stamp in there. We did
Right.
go somewhere and they no longer had physical stamps, period.
Yeah, Jamaica.
Yeah, and
It's
then
like, yeah.
usually, we've been to Canada quite a few times, and they have never
stamped it.
stamped ever.
Even
Ever.
we've driven to Canada a couple of times. Even when we go to the border, they don't stamp it.
They will not stamp it.
They just slide it through
At
the little
all.
thing and say, "All right, do you have any tobacco, whatever, ever in
Mm-hmm.
your car?" And nope. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
There's no
they're
stamp,
absolutely
no
not.
nothing.
And I've had people, the border patrol say, we don't stamp U.S. passports. One says you don't want our stamp because we only stamp people that we're watching. We had someone tell us that on our last crossing.
That was to Ottawa, right?
Yeah, we went to the Tulip Festival in Ottawa. So it was a big deal that this time when the guy whipped out that stamp, I was like, whoa, no questions asked, huh?
He was happy to do it.
Yeah.
It's like the one in Jamaica. He was like, he didn't want to do it. He was like, we don't even do that anymore. I'm sure he had a stamp back there. He just didn't want to do it.
Because we watch other people get their stamps.
Yeah, we like to stamp the passport, to show that we've been there, to prove it.
I like my physical copy.
Yeah.
You guys get the digital ones. Give me my physical one.
It's nostalgia. At least give me a sticker or something. If you ain't got a stamp, give me a I Love Canada sticker I can put on the back of the passport. But you get nothing. You just walk through. Hey, where's the fun in that?
They got you collected in their database.
They do. And in their app.
Fingerprints.
They got everything.
And they're scanning your passport.
Scanning your face too.
Scanning your face. They sure are.
Yep. So try something if you want to.
So Derek, let me ask you, was it worth it?
Was it worth it? I would say yes, it was worth it. It was worth getting my Delta points. It's a different touch point as it relates to experiencing different ways to travel. However, I have learned that next time, I don't really need the points for convenience. I'll take a shorter flight. I'll do Air Canada next time. How about you?
I never like layovers, period. Then you going to have 2 on my trip?
You do like layovers.
I do not like layovers.
Well, when we have a trip going to Barcelona, and I said, "Hey, there's
that doesn't
a layover
count
in Lisbon." Ooh,
that doesn't count.
Can we stay longer?
That does not count because the Lisbon layover was 5 hours originally, and I felt like that was enough time to leave the airport and see some things and make it back in time. But then Derek found out that with that particular flight, you can extend your layover at no additional cost. So now, at no additional cost to our ticket,
this is another topic.
We get to stay in Lisbon for 28 hours instead of 5.
Yeah.
So that's different.
I'm just kidding. Just joking, sweetheart.
But other than that, I want direct flights only. I'm willing to pay the price for the premium. Like I will pay premium for comfort. I really will. And Derek has to reel me in each and every time.
You know what? When I think about some layovers are good. Like if you got a really long flight, I would love to get off the plane and stretch my legs.
Yeah.
Because from Atlanta to Honolulu is a long flight. So I would need a stop somewhere. And it's just we had too many of them.
Yes. And people don't realize, Honolulu, Hawaii in general is in the middle of nowhere, people. Just from LA to Hawaii is a direct flight that's 5 hours long. You're 5 hours over the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. There are no stops.
Whoever drew those maps made Hawaii look really close to California.
It is far.
Not. It is so freaking far.
If you think about it, it's a 5-hour flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles. Five. Just think, if you look at your map at home, find Atlanta, Georgia, and then look at Los Angeles, California. That's how far Hawaii is from California.
Yeah.
That distance.
That is insane. That is insane. And once again, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you're over water.
You are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at all times.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it for this episode. You guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to y'all later.
Ooh, if you made it this far, you are the true champion. You could have been anywhere, doing anything, but you instead chose to spend your time with us. And for that, we say thank you.
I'm Derek.
I'm Makayla. Rate, like, and subscribe. Do good, be good. Until next time.